Hi, I'm Katseki, a financial planner. If you want to buy a house in Japan, study Japanese housing environment. Monthly comparison of the lowest mortgage rate announced. I will continue to deliver floating interest rate fixed 14 years, refinancing and plus 35 this month. In April, Mizuho Bank, a megabank, ranked first in floating interest rate. When announcing such an extremely low interest rate, we often do it for only 1 month as a campaign. And I was worried about the interest rate in May. Now, what will happen this month? Comparison of the lowest mortgage interest rate in May 2021. I will continue to deliver floating interest rate refinancing fixed 14 years and plus 35 this month. First, check the interest rate last month. The floating interest rate in April 2021 was 0.375% for Mizuho Bank online mortgage loan. The interest rate was lower than that PayPay Bank and Mizuho Bank. Well then, I would like to go. In May 2021, Mizuho Bank's net-only mortgage loan, which ranked first in floating interest rate, was 0.375% unchanged from last month. Megabank is number 1 again this month. Mizuho Bank is wonderful. The second place is PayPay Bank 0.38%, same as last month. The third place is Mizuho Bank 0.41%, which is the usual interest rate. From last month to this month, I was worried about the movement of Mizuho Bank. At the same time, I've seen the movement of PayPay Bank. Looking at the Mizuho Bank's 0.375%, I thought it might be possible to announce a lower interest rate, but it was 0.38% unchanged from last month. While Mizuho Bank is doing hard, what are the movement of other megabanks? In a comparison of the lowest mortgage interest rate, I will only introduce the top 3 banks. So it is difficult to compare the movement of other megabanks, but I would like to announce it. Mitsui Sumitomo Bank has rate of 0.475%, and Mitsubishi UFJ Bank has the same rate of 0.475%. The 3 megabanks used to have a floating interest rate of 0.525%. but have been affected by the net bank and have dropped to 0.475%. Meanwhile, only Mizuho Bank lowered to interest rate by 0.1%. And while the floating interest rate was ranked first among all banks including the net bank, Mitsui Sumitomo Bank and Mitsubishi UFJ Bank remained at 0.475%. So what about these 2 banks, the other interest rate type? This is the 10-year fixed interest rate of Mitsui Sumitomo Bank and Mitsubishi UFJ Bank, 1.15% of Mitsui Sumitomo Bank and 0.74% Mitsubishi UFJ Bank, both of which are not low. So these 2 banks giving up on the mortgage interest rate competition. Actually, here are 2 banks are focusing on. Mitsui Sumitomo Bank 3-year fixed interest rate is 0.39%, and Mitsubishi UFJ Bank 3-year fixed interest rate is 0.34%. The strength of each financial institution is difficult. They have fixed interest rate of 3 years and an extremely low interest rate, and they are competing here. Refinancing. I want to go this all at once. Mizuho Bank ranked first, internet mortgage 0.375% unchanged. The second place is PayPay Bank 0.38% and the third place is Mizuho Bank 0.41%. It is exactly the same as a floating interest rate, fixed for 10 years. Before look at the 10-year fixed rate, let's look at the long-term interest rate chart, where the 10-year fixed rate and the flat 35 are linked. This is a 3-month chart at the end of April. There was a time when long-term interest rate rose, and I was worried about the rise in flat 35 and 10-year fixed interest rate. After that, interest rates are gradually stabilized and there was no big rise. This does not give you peace of mind. This is the 12-month chart at the end of last month. That is the 1-year chart. If you look at it over a long period of 1 year, you can see that it has risen extremely for the past 3 months. Now let's look at the 10-year fixed interest rate. The first place is 0.499% of PayPay Bank, which is the first place. The second place is Mizuho Bank 0.525% and the third place is Sony Bank and Mitsui Sumitomo Trust Bank 0.55%. But PayPay Bank, which has been fixed number 1 for 10 years, is strong. Long-term interest rate remains high, but what about flat 35? First, check interest rate last month. This is flat 35 in April 2021. The interest rate was 1.37%, and here is the interest rate for May. It is down 0.01% from 1.37% last month. Interest rates have fallen, but only 0.01%. As usual, flat 35 interest rate stable at high level. Mizuho Bank worked so hard this month. But what will happen next month? Next month, I will deliver in early June. Thank you for watching the video. If you like this video, please press the good button. And also, please subscribe this channel.